Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over a more serious topic and a more informational topic. I really wanted to do a video on my dietitian experience, and I know you guys may know that already, but it has taken me some time to figure out how I want to make these videos, and I've decided to make a dietitian series in a way, and I'm going to split the videos up into a couple of parts. So this video is going to be a bit more informational because I really want to give you guys background on why I'm going to a dietitian and my kind of eating habits and working out habits right now and prior to even seeing a dietitian. And this may get a little personal and touchy, and in no way am I trying to impose my habits on you guys or make you guys go to a dietitian. I'm just telling you what worked for me, what I experienced in my journey, and what I'm still experiencing. And this is all very personal and stuff that I experienced, and it has to do with me. So nothing is going to be imposed on you guys. This is all your decision. If you have any weight or eating issues that you would like to resolve, I definitely say go to a professional, because I am not a professional. So this is just my story, and it's here to give you a little glimpse of what I went through. If you guys are going through something, definitely contact a doctor or professional before you make any decisions. So let's get into this video. So what I want to touch on first is kind of my story in a way. So ever since I was very little, like 3 years old, I don't know if any of you guys know this, you probably don't, but I used to do gymnastics super competitively. I used to travel and do gymnastics about 20 hours a week. So it was very intense for me, and I've always been super athletic and strong in a way since I was young. So I always had this constant working out every single day for like 4 to 5 hours a day, and that became my norm, and my body was very, very used to that. So a couple years ago, about 2 to 3 years ago, I ended up hurting myself. I injured myself, and it stopped my career completely, and that resulted in me having a lot of extra time on my hands, and I wasn't really exercising anymore. I started to go to the gym and see a personal trainer, and that really helped me, but I definitely wasn't doing the amount of working out that I was doing before. So if you don't know, when you do intense workouts like that, especially when you're doing gymnastics, if you see the gymnasts on TV and stuff, they are very, very strong, and their body is just complete muscle. And due to the amount of pounding and the amount of working out and the hours that they put in, they kind of are stunted in a way. So you can be stunted growth-wise and puberty-wise. And since I hurt myself around the time I was like 14, 15 years old, I was still obviously growing. And quitting gymnastics at that time was definitely not very convenient because I was still growing as a girl. And honestly, I went through a lot of weight changes very dramatically due to the fact that gymnastics already stunted my growth, and I was also going through changes at the same time, and it just became this one big mash of like gain weight, get really tall, like grow just like immensely. It just was a lot for me to take on at the time. And I was never necessarily overweight, and I'm not saying that I'm overweight or fat or whatever. Like, I just felt out of my comfort zone. I didn't feel like I was comfortable in my own skin. So the next point that I want to touch on is what I did after my gymnastics career was over, how I treated my body and what I ate, how I worked out, what I did. So I went to a personal trainer, and I worked out for maybe once a week, twice a week max, and then I would do track at high school, and I did that for a long time, and that actually helped me to maintain weight and be a pretty healthy weight. But then I decided to quit track around my junior year last year. And when I quit, I started working out more at the gym. Since working out was a big part of my life and constantly staying active, it felt odd for me not to do something, especially exercise. It felt odd. So I really was kind of born into exercising, and that is just a given for me. It is a very stress relieving process, and for some people they don't really like it, and yes, it's painful sometimes, like working out, but it's necessary for me and my mental state, and I've learned that through some time. Junior year, I started to feel like I was gaining weight, and just like I started to realize that I had gained weight, and it wasn't bad weight. It was more just like you're growing and you're a woman and you quit gymnastics, and it's just this, again, intense change from not having any weight on me to having more than I've ever dealt with before. And I started to count my calories, eat less during the day, those types of things. And I would start to cut out different food groups, and I just did a lot of experimentation with different diet plans and different workout plans. And the thing that was unhealthy is that I would count my calories to like the gram. Like I would measure everything. I wouldn't want to eat off my diet because it was an all or nothing thing. I would eat like very minimal calories in a day, and it wasn't sustainable. And by the weekend, I would binge on food and eat a lot of junk food and get really hungry because I felt deprived throughout the week. So I did this for a very long time, and I would do on and off things. I would go through phases where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I would push it aside and just eat how I wanted to. And it created this very toxic relationship with food, because I felt like either you go all or you go nothing. And that's a very diet mentality, and it's a very toxic mentality. And deprivation is very toxic as well, and making your body feel deprived of things and telling yourself that you can't have it and it's horrible for you is very toxic. So another point I want to touch on is kind of my mindset as well. A lot of things in life are mental, and I've definitely realized that. Your skin is definitely a mental state. Your diet is a mental state. Working out is a mental state. A lot of things are predetermined based off your mental state. My mental state was definitely very not healthy when I was trying to lose weight. I was thinking of what I want it to be, not what I was working with. And you hear a lot of people say this sometimes. I mean, I do. I really like Blogilates. She has a very healthy mindset. So if you're looking for a working out and kind of eating plan that you want to follow, or someone who really promotes stuff like that, Blogilates is a great outlet for people who really want to live a healthy lifestyle, not a very diet mentality lifestyle. But I was chasing an image that was impossible for me to achieve, and I would see all these very skinny women, which is not a bad thing at all. People come in all shapes and sizes, and people are larger, very skinny, athletic, or just like very hourglass, doesn't matter. And I was basically chasing a very stick thin, skinny image in my head that I wanted to be. I wanted to slim down my thighs. I wanted a thigh gap. I didn't like my muscular arms from gymnastics. I stopped working them out because I thought that that would make me lose muscle mass and weight and fat, and I just wanted to get rid of everything that kind of made me who I was. And doing gymnastics from a very young age definitely trained my body to be more athletic and muscular. So a lot of that I didn't really like about myself. And unfortunately, my body can't really change. And I will probably be pretty muscular for the rest of my life. Not that I'm upset about that, but you know, society puts pictures and images into our head that we have to be like either very stick thin with no muscle and fragile, and I think women aren't portrayed much in the media as very muscular and strong, and I think that's something that I wish would change a bit more, because being muscular and being strong and being athletic and built athletically is not a bad thing, and is not a very manly thing, and I saw myself as very manly and kind of like burly and like I just did not like that, and so I was chasing a more feminine version or a more feminine woman, which I thought was very skinny and thin and like thin arms, and that was impossible for me to achieve. And I realized that chasing something that isn't who you are is just going to lead to sadness in the end, because a lot of us try to be something that we are not, or we try to make ourselves something that we really can't be. And even though you might want to be super skinny, your bone structure or your muscles or however your body is structured might never be able to achieve that goal, just because your body isn't structured like that. Just because you don't have a thigh gap doesn't mean that you are overweight and you're unhealthy. It just means that maybe your body is built in a certain way, your hips are a certain way, your legs are a certain way, that your body just can't physically produce a thigh gap. So I really want to sum this video up because I want to go over how I changed my eating and working out habits in my next 2 videos. And I really want to keep this video a little bit brief for you guys, but I really want to give background about why I decided to go to a dietitian. So I guess that's going to be my last point here, is why did I decide to go to a dietitian. So after some time of eating healthy but not eating a lot of food and eating very little variety to avoid gaining weight and whatnot, I kind of figured out that this was just toxic, and my mindset was just very toxic, and I was not a happy person. So even though I was trying to lose weight and I was eating very little and I was working out, it didn't make me happy. And I think I realized that, and I noticed that I could try so hard to change who I was, but in the end I wasn't a happy nor was I a healthy person. So although eating less may help you to achieve a goal, an image, it is not going to make you a happy person. And I decided that I really needed someone to talk to, especially someone who knew food and who saw food as a healthy and nourishing component for your body, and who wasn't just going to throw a diet plan on the table and tell me to follow it. So I found someone in my area, and I really enjoy her guidance. It's really great to go to her. So I saw her once, I think a month ago, and then I saw her again recently after 1 month of doing the program or just changing up how I ate, and now I'm going to see her in a month or maybe like 3 weeks now. And so basically I had 3 appointments, 2 follow-up appointments, and yeah, so I will definitely get into more of my journey later. But that is basically my story and why I decided to go to a dietitian, and I'm definitely excited to explain how my mindset has changed since then, and how I feel like I've become a more happy person and I've felt more comfortable around food and within myself. So that is really it for this video. I hope this was really informational and helpful, and maybe if some of you connect with this story or understand or have people that have gone through similar toxic relationships with food or working out and whatever. But if you guys ever need any help, or you just need to say something or talk to someone, you could always DM me. They are completely open on my Instagram, and my Instagram is linked in my bio below. You could also leave comments. Anything you guys want to do. It's an open space, free to talk and free to help others to feel more comfortable in their own skin. So thank you again for watching, and bye!
I don't want your love.